龙年快乐! Welcome back to some Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? Where, yeah, it's Chinese New Year, well, Lunar New Year I should say, because of course more than China celebrate the Lunar New Year. If you don't know, it's a year of a dragon, so, you know, let's get all the greetings. 新年快乐, 恭喜发财. How do you say it in Cantonese? 恭喜发财, something like that. I don't know about the tones in Cantonese. I don't speak Cantonese. Sorry. I don't also know what the greetings are in other languages, so you'll have to forgive me for that as well. But yeah, Chinese New Year, it's here again. I've spoken about it a few times, I think, in the past, to be perfectly honest. But now we have a year of a dragon, which I think most people are in accordance to being like, whoa, dragons, that's pretty cool. Oh, here we go, Isabel. Hello, everyone. Today is the start of a Lunar New Year. I wish you all good fortune and happiness. I never actually thought about it, but good fortune and happiness must be the 恭喜发财, sorry, 恭喜发财 thing, which it's basically saying have good fortune and happiness in Chinese. It's a sort of generic, not greeting, but like congratulatory phrase that you say in Chinese, on Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year, that sort of thing. So yeah, we're going to the Year of a Dragon. I'm not really like in the know about like what the not superstitions, but like what the meanings behind all the zodiac animals are and that sort of thing. I love the story of a great race. I guess we'll have another mini retelling of it today. But apart from that, like I don't know much else about sort of like the mythos behind the animals. So I can't really tell you what the Year of a Dragon means, nor what dragons are meant to represent necessarily. I guess we can look it up. Hold on, let's see. Wikipedia Chinese Zodiac. And then maybe we can see what on earth the dragon means. Animal trying to what on earth am I looking at? Is it just dragon? Animal, dragon. Okay, what does it represent? For the animals, that's true. Is it meant to represent something? Compatibility? Best match with monkey and rats? Match with rooster, snake, pig, horse? No match or rival enemies with dog, dog, ox, or goat. And I'm an ox, so fair enough, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on. Hold on. What are the matchings for oxes? KK Sider's not going to be having a song right now anyway. I don't know. Wikipedia doesn't have it. Lunar Mansion? I don't understand what's going on. I'm looking at this being like, what? Sorry, I'm also not walking. I'm trying to look at Wikipedia at the same time. During the Cultural Revolution, it was attempted to replace it with a giant panda? Really? I had no idea about that. Okay, so I guess it's Chinese astrology might be a bit more useful. No, wait, this is a wrong... This is the astrology of a 5 thing, isn't it? Wait, oh, what the heck does the Year of a Dragon mean? Wikipedia Year of the Dragon. Meaning? Maybe it doesn't have a meaning. Symbolism, how about that? Associated with earthly branch symbol. Okay, well, I mean, what does that mean? Maybe related to scorpions. What? Revered symbol of power. I mean, I guess, probably. Okay, well, you know, I suppose you can go look it up yourself or something. I'm not doing a very good job. My wiki-foo is failing me today. But yeah, it's a Year of a Dragon. You know, say farewell to the Year of a Rabbit and then to the Year of a Dragon. Anyone born in this year, what years would that be? 1990. Hold on. 2000 is Year of a Dragon. 7 is ox. 8 must be tiger then. 9 rabbit. Yeah, okay, so year 2000 and every multiple 12 spanning on from that. That makes sense. Hold on, that was literally a multiple 12 years ago. I don't know why I didn't just do that. So yeah, yeah, it's a Year of a Dragon. Fascinating stuff. Do I know any people who are born in the Year of a Dragon? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I probably do. I don't really know what most people's Chinese zodiacs are, to be perfectly honest, apart from my friends. But a lot of my friends, you know, are like of similar year age to me. Actually, to be fair, okay, my friends from school, I know, because everyone in my year would either be an ox or a tiger, because we'd all be 97 or 98. And then all the friends who are not from school, I guess I don't necessarily know their ages, like exactly off the top of my head, so I would have to have random guesses. Anyway, the only bit of like fortune I suppose I know about Chinese New Year really relating to the zodiac is that if it's your year, it's actually like meant to be like an unlucky year, or like you have theoretically a bad fortune on your year, which is why you need all these like good luck fortune charms or something to ward it off. But anyway, I guess we'll have, you know, probably similar conversations to the years we had last to previous years about Chinese New Year in general. How can you celebrate? Well, to be fair, celebrations in Chinese New Year, again, well, not only do they vary by the country, but in China themselves, they vary depending on the region that you're from. And even then, they probably vary from household to household. So I can only really tell you about the traditional stuff that I know, or my family has taught me. And that being on Chinese New Year, it's very, apparently it's more traditional in northern China, which is where my family's from, to eat dumplings. So, you know, gonna have some dumplings later today. I think it's also very traditional to eat an orange, or like oranges are meant to be like a nice symbol on Chinese New Year, because it's like, I don't know, it's something my parents told me that they didn't really know the reason, but they guessed because of its like roundness or something. It's meant to be like represent a whole life or something. I don't know. What else? There's also on Chinese New Year's Eve, which is yesterday, you have like fish, and you leave a little bit of leftover, and you eat fish again today, because then you're eating fish year on year, which in Chinese would sound like nian nian you yu, which also, no, sorry, nian nian you yu, which can sound like every year you have fish, but also can be a pun and sound like nian nian you yu, which means every year you have like wealth or fortune. I forget exactly which sort of like prosperity word it means. What else? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but the Great Race. I think the Great Race is honestly a fantastically fun sort of bit of Chinese mythology, to be perfectly honest. I don't remember it all too well off the top of my head. I can remember it in like sort of paraphrasing, where like the great emperor at the time was like, we need to have a new calendar system or something, like a new year system. So invited all the animals, theoretically, into a grand old race across China, and it would just be like the first 12 actually finish a race will be the 12-year cycle, I suppose, of the Chinese calendar. So all the animals, they like prepped and sort of like lined up, and then they basically just like had a race. I can't remember the exact like things they did. Like there's some like part through the forest, I think, then like through a field or something. But the most important part is at the river at the end, where it's like, this is where the orders are determined. And the rat and the ox were like the first two to make it there. And the rat was like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to make it across the river. It's so difficult to traverse. Hey, ox, why don't you carry me on your back? And then when it gets to the end, I'll let you cross first and I'll cross second afterwards. And the ox, being like, we're kind-hearted but simple, I don't know, creature they are, just went, okay. So the ox like easily ploughed through the raging rapids of the Yangtze River, and the rat was just like happily chilling on the back. And then the ox got to the other side, and just before the ox crossed the finish line, the rat jumped off and ran across first, which is why rat is number 1 in the Chinese calendar, followed by the ox. And then number 3 is the tiger, who is also like quite a ferocious swimmer and was, you know, one of the favourites to win or something. Just came in 3rd. Probably didn't have as good time swimming through the water. Then the rabbit came in 4th, because the rabbit was like hopping, instead of actually swimming through the water, she like hopped along the rocks or something to cross the river, and then had to like run back up to the finish line, which of course takes a little bit of time. And the 5th one was a dragon. The dragon was the actual favourite to win the race, because a dragon can fly, it can just like ignore everything. But it was someone that she saw a local village on fire and was like, oh, I should probably like help out that village. I don't want them to like burn down or anything. Oh, well, unfortunately on a coconut island, so we can't actually get more sticks here, so that's certainly my fault. We need to definitely farm more sticks at some point. I mean like today, I guess. So the dragon was meant to win, but then the dragon was kindly stopped to put out like a raging inferno, a village on fire, and help them out, which is why she came in 5th. 6th was, I think, a horse? No, the snake, right? It was like the horse also had a very easy time crossing river, just like the ox, and just as the horse was about to cross, the snake, who hitched a ride on the horse as well, like slithered out and crossed the line first, startling them, and then the horse crossed afterwards. So then it went snake, then horse, and then, okay, what number are we on now? So dragons 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 8, 9, 10 is the rooster, the monkey, and the sheep, who built a raft across the river, something like that. They basically cooperated as a team. And then, you know, once we got to the finish line, they were like, okay, what order should we cross in? And then they were like, okay, sheep, you go first. You're always like the nicest one. You were like so calm, keeping us all together. And then it was a rooster, and then it was a monkey. I don't really know, honestly, the story behind why those two followed on like that. But yeah, it went sheep, rooster, monkey. And then it went dog, who was just like, would have had actually a pretty good time crossing a river, but then just like spent all the time playing and having fun before being like, oh wait, yeah, I'm in a race. Time to go across the finish line. come in 11th. I remember the 12th was a pig. I can't remember what happened to the pig, but it was something like we found a load of good food to eat and fell asleep, and then I was like, oh my god, I forgot I'm in a race. And then crossed the finish line in 12th. And there you go, that's how the 12 animals of a Chinese zodiac were chosen. But there's also some variations, which I never heard of as a child, but I only heard of when I got older, that the reason the cat themselves, like the domestic cat, I suppose, is not in the Chinese calendar is because, for a couple of reasons, like basically the rat betrayed it in some capacity. Either the rat told them the wrong day for the race, so that the cat missed it, or the cat and the rat were both sitting on the ox's back, but the rat pushed the cat off just before they got to the end. Something like that, I don't know. Which is why cats and mice or rats or other rodents are meant to sort of eternally hate each other. That's at least the mythos behind that. I just think it's a nice story and that sort of thing. And I feel like it's also the sort of thing because, I mean, I mentioned this before. On Saturdays I used to go to a Chinese school basically to learn how to speak Chinese. On Saturdays mornings, and unsurprising, Chinese New Year, very big event during those times. I mean, if you don't know how big Chinese New Year is, it's basically the Christmas equivalent, I suppose, in East Asia. At least that's how I would describe it, but, you know, maybe that's not so true anymore nowadays because of the modernity of westernization. Christmas is now quite a big thing as well, but not as big a thing, I'd say, as Chinese New Year. Sorry, Lunar New Year. Also, I'm speaking from, like, a Chinese perspective. I don't necessarily know how big it is in the other East Asian and Southeast Asian countries. I assume pretty big, but again, that's not really for me to decide, is it? But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, because in Chinese school we always used to do these like performances, I suppose, around Chinese New Year. Like everyone in my class would do some very like stage performances and stuff like that, and where people would basically practice their Chinese by doing putting on like a play or something. I remember that there were 2 adult classes who would put on this like theatre production. I can't remember the stories very well, but there's one of them where it was something like a man versus like an evil spirit or something were like playing this game, and the game essentially involved them having to pick out like a white or black stone from a bag, and then the evil spirit like sneakily made it impossible for the man to win, but then the man won anyway or something. No, hold on, it was basically, okay, there was theoretically a black and white stone in the bag. If the human man picked a white stone, he would, like, I don't know, save a girl or something, and if the black stone was picked, then the evil demon spirit would like get to marry the girl and like kidnap her or something. I don't know, something sorry traditionally fairy tale-esque like that. But then, you know, the demon spirit like sneakily took the bag and chucked the white stone away, like stole the white stone and replaced it with 2 black stones. So it's like, oh no, the demon spirit's always going to win no matter what. There's only 2 black stones. What's our courageous hero going to do? What the courageous hero did, which I remember at the time, I was like, oh, that's so clever. And even now, I guess it is pretty clever, to be honest. You know, I'm going to give credit where credit is due, just because I've known it for a while, to be perfectly honest. And just because it's, you know, simple doesn't mean it's not sharp-witted, I suppose. I'm not sharp-witted, but quick on his feet. What he did is he grabbed the stone in his palm of his hand and then really quickly chucked it into the Yangtze River, which you'll know is featured quite prevalently in a lot of like sort of Chinese folklore stories, I guess, because I mean it's quite a significant landmark, isn't it? And then they were just like, oh no, I don't know what I picked, but we can figure out what I picked by seeing what was left in the bag. If it was a black stone left in the bag, I must have picked a white stone. If it was a white stone, I must have picked the black stone. Something. And completely subverted what the evil spirit demon had done. Because he had, of course, 2 black stones left in the bag. He turned a guaranteed loss into a guaranteed win. And I was just like, whoa, blew my mind. That's so fantastic. I can't remember what other productions they put on, to be honest, but I'm sure maybe I can find that as a thing. Hold on. Chinese folklore story. Black stone, white stone. Black and white stone story. Is this right? Oh, it's actually a merchant. Dream of a Red Chamber. Is this the story of a stone? Rouge versions. Plot summary. Where's the stone? It was plot summary. So I'm giving a story of a stone. This is a wrong sort of stone. Wait, no, this is not what I wanted. Black and white stone press reader. What is press reader? Deny. Beautiful girl strategy. Young girl bit and then pulled out a stone and slothfully hid it. Stone had fallen to the ground. Made them look for a stone, but couldn't find it. Yes, I drew a white stone. Come on, goodbye to you. Something like that. That's right. The old moneylender had a white and black stone in his bag, offered a merchant to draw one of them. He said that if a merchant pulled a white stone, he would leave a house to them. If a black stone, he would marry his daughter and leave a house to the merchant himself. The young girl thought the offer was a ruse, and on reflection, she guessed that moneylender had 2 black stones in his bag. He told Astra that he wanted to play the game and ignored all of his father's objections. Yeah, okay, that's basically the story. I don't remember it in that context, to be perfectly honest, but I just remember them chucking the stone into, like, the Yangtze River. I should look up the Yangtze River, because I always call it the Yangtze, but I don't actually know what the Chinese characters are for it. I always forget. Changjiang. What? I guess so. Wrong with it. Changjiang. Why is it called the Yangtze River then? Yangtze. I guess that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, that's a story I remember. What else? I remember our class once we put on like the Chinese zodiac story. I was like the youngest by far in like my Chinese. Well, okay, maybe not in the youngest classes, but when I got to like the older classes, like aka the level where it's like you're gonna do a GCSE, I was like the youngest. Like I think I was still in primary school. Yeah, I was still in primary school actually when I did my GCSE, or I was like year 7 or something like that. Oh no, it was, I did my GCSE the year before I started, I think. Secondary school, is that right? Anyway, that's not really very important to be perfectly honest. Anyway, we put on, I don't know if it's our own story of a great race, because the only thing I remember is, I think it might have been a poem or something, is that 2 other older kids like read out something, and then the rest of us were basically holding up these signs to be the animals. And I remember we didn't even like, I helped make one of the signs. I remember I was paired up with this really like quiet kid or something who basically like never spoke to anyone. Like didn't even speak to me. Like I was quiet as well, but like I would at least speak to people who spoke to me about something. This kid was definitely silent, I would suppose. And then I remember we were meant to draw the goat or something, and then he basically just did not allow me to do anything and just like drew the entire goat. It was like a really nice drawing. He was like a fantastic artist, I suppose, but he did not allow me to do any of it, and I just sort of like watched him draw the goat, and I was like, all right, I guess, like, go off, king. And that's what I remember. It's like it was a really amazingly drawn goat. But then we didn't even hold up our own signs that we created. They read out the poem, and basically as I got to each animal, like the person holding up the sign would go on stage. And I remember I held up the monkey sign for whatever reason. And then the teacher was like, oh, it's boring. You guys should do something more fun or something when you go on stage. You shouldn't just like run onto stage. So it was like, okay, we'll do these things. And I was like, okay, I'll be a bit silly, I suppose, to like run onto stage. But when it came to the actual performance sign, none of us actually did it, you know. I was like, I suppose number 8 or something, because I was like, I'll just see what everyone else does and I'll just do what they do. And everyone just like ran onto stage really like normally, and we just like stood there holding the sign. So I was like, I'm not gonna be that fool and just like pretend to be a monkey as I go on stage or something. I'm just gonna run up and do that thing normally as well. It's a sort of classic, you know, class performance thing where people are like, I don't really want to do this, but it's sort of like a mandatory thing at this point. I suppose if I did it now, I'd probably have a lot more fun with it, because I'd just be like, ah, it's all silly, stupid fun anyway. But back then, of course, you know, oh, okay, I guess it turned 3:30, so you 2 had different things to do for your programming. I was like, how do you just stand up all immediately? I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I don't know. You have a dragon. There we go. Chinese school performances is what comes to mind. I don't even remember them very well. But that's all I remember. It was like a really, really nice drawing of like a sheep or a goat. And then I just held up someone else's sign anyway. I just held up like a sign for a monkey. That's all I remember. And I was like, okay. I mean, it's possible that I drew one of the others. I don't know. It's not like I was particularly good at drawing back then. I was like 11 or 10 or something. Actually, probably younger, because I don't think I was in the GCSE class. Whatever. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here because I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. But anyway, happy over dragon, I suppose. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.